Wasn't supposed to be more rain. But here we go. The rain is falling here at Molson Stadium at McGill after torrential downpours all day yesterday. And this, the back half of a home-and-home between the Alouettes, top team in the CFL, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Starting at quarterback again for Montreal, Dwayne, is Davis Alexander. We saw him 2 weeks ago come off the bench. He was great. He was impressive in a different sort of way in their victory in Hamilton last week.
Yeah, he really was. That first game coming off the bench, things went very smoothly for him. A little bit of adversity last week. A couple of turnovers, nearly had his head separated from his body, but rebounded from all of that to lead his team to a victory in, as you said, impressive, if not unique, fashion. And of course, over on the other side, his counterpart, Bo Levi Mitchell, 94 career wins, as you see, as a starter, but only 4 of those having come as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He really needs to reverse his and his team's fortunes.
Scott Milanovich back in Montreal for the first time as Ticats head coach. He had some great years here as Alouettes offensive coordinator, won a Grey Cup in back-to-back years. Something his old understudy, Jason Moss, got to experience as the Owls head coach last year. Moss's Alouettes have won 15 of their last 16 games, including last year's Grey Cup. They come into this one 7-1, 3-1 at home. They lost their only game to the Argos about a month ago when Cody Fajardo got hurt. And Davis Alexander, the quarterback now. There's Smoke Harris, the returner for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, will get the ball first. The Alouettes won the toss and they have deferred. And as mentioned, it's suddenly rainy here. The clouds rolled in what had been a sunny day. Jose Maltos to get things started for the Alouettes. They're going to be looking to make the turn at the halfway point of the season with an 8-1 record. See what happens tonight. Harris takes it down at the 5. This one's underway at McGill. And feeling his way through and still on his feet. A pretty good return as he's finally taken down Bryce Notre in on the tackle. And Bo Levi Mitchell, despite the struggles of the Ticats, statistically, he's on top of the CFL in passing yards and touchdowns.
Well, we heard Jim Barker's feelings about statistics in the opening, and you know, well, I won't say it as strongly. The bottom line is, despite the numbers that he's putting up, this team is struggling to find a way to win. It's not all on the quarterback to get things done, but as an offensive group, defensive group, even needing more out of special teams, quite frankly, the Tiger Cats need to get it in gear.
They didn't have an offensive... Well, they got a flag coming in. I was going to say they didn't get offensive points until late in the game in that one. The points came early on a pick 6, but Luther Hakunavanu had taken off. Now, Bo Levi Mitchell...
Five-yard penalty, remains first down.
The referee, Justin McInnes. Mitchell had talked about how distracting it is here, especially in Montreal with those air horns. I'm sure if you've watched some games, some broadcasts here in Montreal, the distraction it can be when the opposing offense is on the field. There they are. And they are relentless. So tough to communicate on the field for Mitchell. You saw it with a penalty right out of the gate. The fake to James Butler. And the throw is complete to James Tuck, who pops it up. Last week, Tuck had a fumble, and it was contested and ruled still Hamilton ball, but not that time. It is clear. Avery Ellis has it in his hands, and Tuck, who won a Grey Cup with the Alouettes last year, has a fumble here in Montreal against his old team.
One of the things for the Hamilton Tiger Cats this season has been the desire to get off to better starts, particularly offensively. Goes without saying, first play turnover is not at all what they had in mind.
Just a disastrous start for the Ticats on offense with a penalty in the first play and then a fumble. A frustrated James Tuck off on the sideline now as the Alouettes and Davis Alexander take over in good shape inside the Hamilton 35. Quickly throwing off to the right. Open receiver 2. It is their number 1 receiver, Tyson Philpott, coming in second in the CFL in receiving yardage.
Well, Davis Alexander in his 3rd year with the Alouettes, getting his first extended playing time and obviously enjoying some success so far. Came off the bench at halftime in his first game. Beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Beat Hamilton last week in his first career start.
2 weeks ago here against the Riders, you talked about it. He completed his first 12 passes and had 2 touchdowns. Underheat takes off. He'll do that. Saw him run before, and a flag is down in the secondary of the Ticats as he is enough to pick up a first down. We wait for the flag. Davis Alexander, third year at a Portland State, and embracing the chance that he's been given with Cody Fajardo unable to play. The previous backup, Caleb Evans, out for the season, injured in a non-contact play.
There's no infraction on the play. First down, Montreal.
Last week in Hamilton, so no penalty there and a first down for the Alouettes.
And take a look here at the initial alignment of the defensive tackles and the linebackers stacked behind, just leaving some room up the middle, and we'll see how it plays out as this play goes on. Ultimately, that ends up being the gap through which Davis Alexander scrambles to pick up that first down yardage.
So Alouettes on the move. Won by 17 last week at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton over the Ticats, and a great chance to open up the scoring here. An injured player for Hamilton down. Yeah, mentioning Alexander, it was Caleb Evans who got the start 2 weeks ago against the Riders, filling in for Cody Fajardo. Jason Moss made the change at the half, put Alexander in, and he has been the starting quarterback since. Richard Leonard down on the field for the Ticats. We'll be back. Mentioning Davis Alexander and his first CFL start last week in Hamilton. Most passing yards in a debut with Montreal. Well, it was Sonny Wade who had a great career with the Alouettes, won the Grey Cup a couple of times back in the 70s. In 1969 for him. Tanner Marsh, remember him?
Marsh Madness.
Along the days of Anthony Calvillo. But on the list, Davis Alexander, and yes, Sam the Rifle Etcheverry, Hall of Famer legend who once coached this Alouette team to a Grey Cup championship as well back in 1970. But back in the 50s, Etcheverry and Al Patterson, that was the big combination here in Montreal. The Hamilton 18 now, 1st and 10, faking the handoff to Walter Fletcher and rolling to his right for Philpott, and a little bit off as he is bumped by DQ Thomas, but that's incomplete. Second down coming up.
The Tiger Cats did a decent job last week of pressuring Davis Alexander, and you're getting a feel for that once again. Nick Usher, the former Alouette, supplying the heat on that play.
First points last week were scored by the Ticats on an interception for a touchdown by Kenneth George. The Owls threatening. Second down, under pressure, tried to dump it off to Fletcher. It was short, and it is an incomplete pass, just a little bit ahead. So third down coming up. Looks like the field goal unit, and Jose Maltos will be coming on for Montreal.
The different look for the Tiger Cats here. You see they've got 1, 2, 3 linemen on the line, but then the fourth guy, Nick Usher, is in behind. He's going to run a twist, so it's still just a four-man rush. But creating a little bit of confusion, I think, for the Alouettes with that look. Again, generates some pressure, leads to an inaccurate throw from a young quarterback.
There's Jose Maltos taking over for the injured David Cote. It's the 5th game for Maltos now as the Alouettes kicker from Mexico. The global player from 25 yards out breaks the ice on a rainy night in Montreal. First points on the board, taking advantage of the turnover right away by the Ticats, and it's a 3-0 Montreal lead.
And Bo Levi Mitchell. As we talked about Davis Alexander last week being able to overcome some early adversity to get things going. I mean, this is where Bo's veteran presence is going to be critical to this team. Rough start. The James Tuck fumble on the opening pass, as mentioned, before they could even run a play. They had a penalty called against them. Plenty of football left to be played. We're just 3 minutes in. So they can't let it become a trend.
They scrimmaged for the second time, and yeah, that first play was a penalty. Second was a fumble, and you can tell the communication is going to be tough as they're going to take a time count.
Time count violation, Hamilton, number 19. It's a 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You know, Dwayne, it's been much talked about, you know, the air horns that come through on the broadcast, too, from these fans when the opposing offense is on. And
timer,
we did ask Bo Levi Mitchell about this. He acknowledged it's that much harder on offenses to get the communication going with this blaring noise.
Yeah, it is. And at the same time, you know what you're going to get when you come to Montreal. The Hamilton Tiger Cats say that they had prepared for this, but obviously hadn't ironed all the kinks out of the system, or maybe those horns are just a little more disruptive than they had expected.
He had felt they shouldn't be allowed, but They're nice and loud here for Montreal fans. Mitchell scrambling around. He finds a target. It's James Butler. Shy of the 40-yard line, but well shy, of course, of a first down. Still a second and long as we take a look at that Tiger Cats offense.
Yeah, and here in Game 9 for the Tiger Cats, they finally have the offensive line they anticipated at the start of the year with the return of Joel Figueroa. Jordan Murray recently coming back to give them 2 veteran tackles as well. Keandre Smith leads the team in touchdown receptions with 5, tied for the team lead in pass receptions over 30 yards. He and Stephen Dunbar have 3 each, so keep an eye on him when the Cats need a big play.
Second down, they still need a little more than 10 after that pickup by Butler. Throwing deeper, and it's midfield and caught by Shamar Bridges, and a first down, the first down for the Tiger Cats in this game, and a big play for Hamilton under the circumstances they've been dealing with.
Yeah, much needed here as Mitchell gets protection, finds Shamar Bridges. First-year player leads the team in second down receptions, conversions. Big target.
He had 9 catches for 76 yards last week for the Ticats in that loss to Montreal. Handing off first carry, James Butler. And a good carry it is, too. A flag does come out as Butler is still on his feet. Dequoy finally railroading him out of bounds. But see what the flag is on what would be a huge carry, 34 yards for James Butler.
Holding, Hamilton, number 69. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And it all comes back.
Yeah, Jordan Murray at right tackle has got to reach up to second level. He's got to get the linebacker in behind. It looked like he just got too narrow a base here and loses his footing on contact. And you see that right, or left hand rather, still holding on to the jersey of Darnell Sankey. And that draws the flag, negating a big play for the Ticats.
So it sets up a second and first and 20 now. First and 20. The Hamilton 46. And Mitchell has a ton of time in a 3-man rush. Trying to find a receiver. It's intercepted. Darnell Sankey waiting for it. Mitchell, he had the time, but the coverage was so good. Threw it down over the middle, and Sankey was there for the interception. That's his first interception of the season. And another turnover committed by the Ticats. 2-0 in that department for the Alouettes. They have the ball and a 3-point lead.
But I think in this interception, you're seeing a little bit of frustration / impatience for the veteran quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell. You saw a number of plays, Montreal giving him time. The offensive line has given him time to throw, but can't find anything downfield. That time, he tries to force one, rolling to his right, throwing across his body into the middle of the field. Similar play last week. Led to an interception as well.
The 10th interception this season, the most in the CFL, thrown by Mitchell. Quickly on first down, and it's Tyson Philpott again. Richard Leonard back in the game for Hamilton.
And on this offensive line, Philippe Gagnon, the most experienced member of that group. Former number 2 overall pick, now in his second stint with the Alouettes. And Charleston Rambo has really emerged, particularly in the absence of Keon Julian Grant, getting a little more opportunity. A couple big plays for him last week.
That's Tyson Philpott, who had the catch in the previous play for a pickup of a couple of yards, but just still sitting down on the turf as he gets some attention. You mentioned Rambo. He got a touchdown catch last week in that Alouette victory in Hamilton, but let's have another look at what happened to Tyson Philpott on that play.
Yeah, and I think it's just as he gets sort of twisted to the ground here, Richard Leonard coming up to make the tackle. Just not sure if Philpott, as he got spun there, may have gotten a cleat stuck in the turf a little bit. Tweaking an ankle or knee.
Been a remarkable story for young Tyson Philpott, now in his 3rd year. Last year, of course, caught the winning touchdown pass in the Grey Cup, the drama over Winnipeg, and then started in Winnipeg this season with a couple of TDs, an explosive game, and has been at or near the top of the standings and the receiving standings in the Canadian Football League all season long, and coming in just behind Justin McInnes in receiving yardage coming into this game. A little bit of a limp as he is helped off. Such a valuable, important piece in that Alouette offense.
Well, we've talked this season coming in, but obviously the Canadian talent on this Montreal team, but in particular, those two receivers, Philpott and Keon Julian Grant, and the need for them to have big years after Austin Mack moving on. But these are two guys that in combination, they were, in terms of yards per game last year, the top Canadian receiving duo in the CFL. I think a lot of people didn't realize it because the fact is they were both hurt at times last year, so there weren't a lot of games that they both played to put up those big numbers.
So 2nd and 6, Philpott out of the game now. The Hamilton 50 after the turnover. Alexander and forces that one, and flag does come out. As the Ticats got some heat on Davis Alexander. The flag dropped right around midfield, close to the line of scrimmage.
Face mask, Montreal, number 65. That 15 yards will be applied at the last line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down.
Justin McInnes with the call. That is Josh Donovan, the right tackle, who's charged for the face mask.
The other Justin McInnes.
The other, yeah, say that name a couple of times. You got the referee and you got the leading receiver in the CFL. So Donovan heads off.
Here you see the first-year right tackle, Donovan matched up with Brandon Barlow. And hand up in the face mask as you see Barlow's head kind of snap back.
And so after that turnover, the interception, the Alouettes not able to do anything with it, and Joseph Zima will stand in around his 20 to punt it away to Davon Smoke Harris, the returner, averaging 11.5. And Zima got a lucky break with the Ticats rolling back to set up a return, had time on that to get the punt away, and then his own man, Felix Garangoche, ends up bumping into Smoke Harris, who is taken down. So it has been kind of a comedy of errors on that play on both sides. High snap, good job for Zima to get it away. Hamilton football. Back with big news for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A quarterback change. Bo Levi Mitchell out. Taylor Powell in. Let's get more from Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Rod, there is Taylor Powell under center for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. After that interception by Bo Levi Mitchell, when the Ticats came to their sideline, Scott Milanovich didn't even walk past the starting quarterback. He went right to Taylor Powell, told him he was going in, then told Bo Levi Mitchell. Mitchell sat on the bench, was looking at his tablet along with his teammates. Then Powell was up and throwing, and just before Powell went in, Bo Levi Mitchell went up to him, shared a quick word. But here we are again, Rod, just like we were at the East semifinal last fall. In Montreal, Hamilton Tiger Cats backup quarterback is in, and Bo Levi Mitchell is on the bench. And now we have a lot of questions with the Tiger Cats offense.
And Matthew, we remember very well the conversation you had with Bo after that game and the frustration when he didn't come into the game. Matthew Schultz had started it, and Mitchell didn't get in until late. In this case, it looks like his day is done early after just 2 possessions. Taylor Powell, who had several starts for the Ticats last year, is in the game and handing off to James Butler. Pulls his way through for a few yards. So surprised to see a change come this early?
I am a little bit surprised to see it happen this early, but this is a team trying to get something going. You know, Taylor Powell, 9 games last year, was 4-5 in his 9 games last season. So a young quarterback who found a way to win. You know, young guy with a fair bit now of starting experience as a result. So it's not like they're throwing someone raw into the mix.
High snap gets away into the end zone. Powell has no choice but to fall on it for a safety. What else can go wrong for the Ticats offense even after they make the change at quarterback, as 2 more points will be put on the board for the Alouettes, and they'll be getting the ball as well.
Yeah, the rough start continues, and it was right from the first play of this ball game. Now high snap from the center, David Beard, over Taylor Powell's head. As you said, no choice. He's got to go fall on top of it, give up that safety. But, you know, I even look back at the punt return play and on the high snap, right? Typically on your punt rush team, even when you've got a return called, somebody's forcing the kick. That's how you avoid letting a fake happen. Nobody forces the kick. Zima's got plenty of time to recover the high snap, get the punt off, and then the friendly fire that snuffs out the return. It's just been that kind of start for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Now, fortunately, it's not a big hole on the scoreboard.
No, 5 points, Montreal, and they will get the ball after that safety. And
yeah, but they've got to get their mindset in the right place before it does become insurmountable. But it just kind of seems like in the early going, one team's ready to play and the other one's not quite there.
Oh, you're right. And yes, 5 points, given what's happened so far to Hamilton, they should take that if they can get this thing turned around. Taylor Powell, hardly a chance right there, handing off in the first play, and then the high snap by Beard. A veteran, a very good veteran center, and just in these slick conditions, ball gets away from him, and saw that high snap the other side for Montreal and the punt as well. But yeah, Hamilton's got to get it together now. They'll have to kick it away to the Alouettes, who've just added to their lead by 2 points after that safety.
So 3 possessions for the Tiger Cats so far. A fumble on the first one, an interception thrown on the second one, a safety conceded on the third.
And Mark Leggio to kick it off. James Letcher has his first return of the game, and it's a good one too, across midfield. Tiptoeing down the sidelines. What a great return by Letcher, as the Alouettes continue to pour it on in every way, with special teams here too, as Letcher has set up Davis Alexander and the Alouettes in great shape.
Yeah, and you can see that wall swinging out to the right side of your screen. Letcher's left, doing a great job getting out in front, picking up blocks. That whole convoy leading James Letcher Jr. into Hamilton Tiger Cat territory.
56-yard return for Letcher, who really came on after the injury to Chandler Worthy last year late in the season in 4 games. He had a couple of return touchdowns. He had one in the East Final as well against Toronto, and a big one. Down to the Hamilton 22. Davis Alexander. Oh, the heat's coming, and he is sacked. Pressure coming. Brandon Barlow, who had 3 sacks in 1 game earlier this year, comes up with a big sack there, and a group of Ticats having a little team meeting and a loss of 8 yards.
Yeah, Barlow in the 3-point. They've got the linebacker up outside. Thomas, Barlow, and Nick Usher in on that one as well. And Usher's credited with that. That would be his first sack of the season. Number of tackles for losses and pressures from the former Alouette.
To see that on the replay, every bit as much Usher's as it is Barlow's. And Usher knows these parts. Yes, as you say, the former Al. 4-man rush. Setting up a screen. Walter Fletcher with it. Getting it down to the 20. Inside, and he takes a hit there by Robert Panabaker as he's pushed out of bounds around the 15. And a first down. Or close to it, excuse me. Not quite. It'll be 3rd coming up.
Yeah, nice execution of the screen, obviously anticipating aggressiveness from the Hamilton front, but with a lot of yards to go after the sack, the Cats are able to sit back a little bit, give that up, and come forward to make a tackle as they did.
They do get it down to the 16 after a 14-yard gain, but still a field goal try coming up. Jose Maltos again, 1 for 1, this one from 23 yards away. Down and through, 3 more. Now 8-0, still a 1-score game of the biggest kind. As Taylor Powell will head back on the field now. See if that Ticats offense can finally get something going. It has gone from bad to worse for the Tiger Cats early in this game in Montreal. Just so many mistakes right from the get-go with that fumble.
Well, yeah, that's the first play from scrimmage. And in their second possession, Mitchell gets picked off trying to force a play downfield. Taylor Powell comes on, his first possession, snap over his head. They give up a safety, then a big kickoff return that leads to a field goal.
So Taylor Powell in again, replacing Bo Levi Mitchell, and he completes that one. Has some time to throw, and a nice one to Shamar Bridges into the Alouette zone, down close to the Montreal 50. Yeah, 19.
The one that may provide a little bit of confidence for the Cats and perhaps quiet this crowd slightly as something positive finally happens for the visitors.
The 50th catch in the young CFL career of Shamar Bridges has a first down for Hamilton. The furthest they've gone down this field so far here in the first quarter. And quickly over to Tim White. His first catch. And some yards after it, too, as he gets just thrown down inside the 45. Let's take a look at that Montreal Alouettes defense.
Yes, sir. And on this group includes defensive tackle Dylan Wynn, the former Ticat, was particularly ornery, it seemed, last week against his old team. That's certainly a part of his game. Little shuffle in the coverage group. Titus Wall gets the start at the nickel linebacker spot. Najee Murray was a late scratch, so Bryce Cosby, who had a pick last week, moves from nickel to the field halfback spot. And as always, we'll keep an eye on Marc-Antoine Dequoy. Quiet start to the year for him so far, but always capable of a big play.
Alouettes once again, they rush 3 ends quickly, going in there to Bridges inside the 40. And that is good enough for another Hamilton first down. And finally, they do have something going on offense.
And Bridges, once again, the guy who has led this team in second down catches. That his 21st conversion of the year. A big one for the Cats, who just desperately need some momentum.
The rookie, the leading receiver in Hamilton this season. So a 1st and 10 at the Alouette 40. Taylor Powell. Once again, only rushing 3. Deep look for Tim White, just a bit too far. In behind 3, there was a shot, and just about a yard difference.
Yeah, Tim White gets in behind coverage. Pats showed they might give you max protection with the back in the backfield and the tight end in the game, but release them all. Going just 5 up front. Tim White getting in behind coverage, but just slightly off the mark.
So a 2nd and 10 now. Taylor Powell was 6 for 7 for 51 yards heading into this game. Had a little bit of action. Rolling out to the right. And then throwing. And it's caught down around the 35 by Bridges. But not nearly enough. A 3rd down coming up. And looks like we'll be seeing Mark Leggio to come out and see if they can get the Ticats on the board.
Yeah, lots of positives as you see the pats on the back for Taylor Powell as he heads to the sidelines. Just the importance for the Tiger Cats, just given the rocky start, to string together a few positive plays in a row. They managed to do that. An opportunity here to put some points on the board and narrow this Alouette lead to less than a touchdown. But once again, given all that's gone wrong in the opening 12 minutes of this ball game for Hamilton,
Mark Leggio has made 16 of 17, going for his 15th straight. This from 43 yards away. No. That kind of night so far for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. If you're doing up a list with a beautiful rainbow framing this stadium of what else can go wrong for the Ticats, that list keeps getting longer and longer.
Yeah, and as you said, Mark Leggio, who has been darn near perfect this season and on a terrific streak.
Just the 2nd miss of the season for Leggio. But it prevents the Ticats from getting on the board as he just hits that left upright from 43 yards out. And the ball comes out to the 30-yard line with Davis Alexander. We got an 8-0 lead. A couple of field goals and a safety. Alexander's 3 for 6 for 21 yards. The toss inside to Charleston Rambo. On the sweep, he's met by Jonathan Moxon. Turns it back the other way and manages to pick up 5 yards. Kobe Jones taking him down. A flag is out, though.
I wonder if there may have been some sort of peel back block here given the nature of the play.
Offside, Hamilton, number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat first down.
Instead, an offside, and Kobe Jones, the one who made the tackle on that play. So They get that 5 yards, but by taking the penalty, keep it at first down. A 1st and 5 up at the 35 for Montreal, leading at 8-0, breaking through first down and more is Walter Fletcher. Fletcher gets it up across the 45 as the 6th move for Montreal and a gain of 10 yards.
Yeah, nice patience here by Fletcher as he sort of picks his way through. Offensive line doing a nice job getting bodies on bodies to get him through to linebacker level. And 1st and 5. You gotta love it, all the options that it gives you. Alouettes take advantage to convert easily to another 1st down.
And Fletcher, as we've seen in his time in Montreal, especially this season, a danger on the ground, getting more carries, but through the air as well on those short passes, and his ability after the catch to pick up yardage. From the Montreal 45, and this time it is Sean Thomas Erlington, a rare carry for Sean Thomas Erlington, just his 4th carry of the season for the ex-Hamilton Tiger Cat who came home to Montreal this year.
Yeah, and we'll take a moment after this one to take a look at the Tiger Cat defense. Casey Sales fined this week actually for his big hit on Davis Alexander in last week's game. Kyle Wilson taking over at the will linebacker spot, leading the team in tackles. Jamal Peters goes to the injured list. Former Alouette Cordell Rogers makes his 2024 debut at the boundary corner spot.
2nd and short after that pickup by Thomas Erlington, but not much doing there for Walter Fletcher. Looks like he's still going to be shy. He had to get to midfield for another Alouette 1st down. So it's looking like a 3rd and short coming up here for Montreal. And Dominic Davis is coming into this game. Davis was just re-signed this week. He had basically given up on any more of a pro football career at age 35. Davis was here 2 years ago, and then went to BC last year. But here in Montreal in 22, he had 13 rushing touchdowns, a short yardage specialist.
Yeah, absolutely. With Caleb Evans going to the injured list, a role built perfectly for Davis.
So Dominic Davis, with a flag coming out, gets enough across midfield for what would be a 1st down for Montreal. Davis had started his career with Winnipeg. He had a brief time
Offside.
in 2019.
Hamilton, defensive line. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So a moot point on the carry because of the offside. But Davis at time as a starter with the Ottawa Redblacks in 2019. And later, as mentioned, Montreal and then BC a year ago.
Yeah, certainly well-traveled. He spent a few years at the start of his career in the National Football League, primarily with Atlanta. Training camp stint in Calgary kicked things off for him even before Winnipeg.
There's Caleb Evans, who worked that game last week, that non-contact injury on a run late in the game, and that ended his season. Davis Alexander airing it out, deep left, open, touchdown. His favorite target, Charleston Rambo, 51 yards. And the Alouettes finally find the end zone.
And you're going to see, watch from the left side of your screen, Nick Usher comes free right at the end of this and absolutely blasts Davis Alexander, but not before he has time to step into his delivery, which turns out to be a strike to Charleston Rambo.
His longest catch of the season, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. He had one for 24 yards last week against the Ticats in Hamilton. And for Alexander, that's his 4th touchdown pass thrown in just his 3rd game of action in his 2nd start. Charleston Rambo in his 1st year played Miami, Oklahoma, and college as well. And a big role in this Owls offense. Nick Usher was in, takes Alexander down, but the ball was away. Into the end zone. Montreal. Through one quarter here at Molson Stadium in Montreal. Now, the Alouettes have just opened up a 15-0 lead, Wayne, but Hamilton has done just about everything to make it a little easier on the Alouettes, and finally they're really starting to pay for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, your hope from a Hamilton point of view is that they got all of the mistakes out of the way in the 1st quarter, because they certainly made their share in the opening 15 minutes. Fortunate that the game has well, until that strike to Rambo had been a one-score game.
And, of course, the change at quarterback. I mean, Scott Milanovich did not wait long after the interception thrown by Bo Levi Mitchell going to Taylor Powell.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of it is just a feeling against Montreal that there really is a need to be patient against the Alouettes. That, you know, part of the premise of their defense, not that their defense is passive by any stretch, but the fact is they're not going to give you the big play. They're a team against whom you have to take little bits. You have to nickel and dime, and sometimes you have to settle for checkdowns and things like that. And, you know, Bo got himself in a little bit of trouble last week and again this
Montreal,
week with a very similar mistake in trying to force a play.
And one of the very few mistakes happened just there for the Alouettes so far in this game. Jose Maltos kicking it out on that kickoff, so that's a flag that'll move the Ticats up the field a little further. But let's take another look. The touchdown that came at the end of the first quarter, Alexander to Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo outside. And nothing fancy about it, quite frankly. You know, a little bit of a fake to the outside, but basically just ran past.
Few words there. Richard Leonard, too. Handing off James Butler on that first down, just a couple of yards for Butler. Last week at 69 on the ground. He comes in. He was third in the CFL in rushing last year, but Tyrese Beverett, former Ticat, coming in to get him. Yeah,
take a look at the far right side of your screen. You can see him already in motion, timing this one up to loop into the backfield, and just runs this one down to clip the heels of the running back, James Butler.
So 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard pickup. Taylor Powell, high snap in the shotgun, and he's flushed out. He's rolling out to the right. And will he take off? He keeps pumping it, and he does finally take off and gets it up to midfield, but not enough for a first down. And a third down is coming up here for Hamilton.
Yeah, once again, not much there. Powell just takes what he can get, basically. But that's going to leave them short. Cats now looking for a big punt from Nick Constantino in hopes of swinging the field a little bit. They can pin Montreal deep here. Try and give themselves a short field in the exchange.
But, and we can say this for many teams in the CFL, there's a dangerous returner at the other end in James Letcher at a big return over 50 yards after the safety the Ticats gave up. Punt from Constantino, charging in a short punt, and it drops in front of him, and it ends up in the hands of Kavian Ento instead. Not a punt returner, but he was in behind protecting as Letcher had come up. So a rare punt return chance there for Ento.
As Charleston Rambo gets ready to jump back into action, here's a look at some of his work. A week ago, 4 catches, 86 yards, and a beautiful touchdown grab right here. Going up over top of Richard Leonard. Nearly had a second one later in the game. That's setting up his team in scoring position. Big game there for the first year Montreal Alouette. Former star, both University of Oklahoma and at Miami prior to an NFL stint.
As you talked about many times, a position of focus for the Alouettes after Austin Mack left after his run year last year. Quarterback draw. Davis Alexander just keeps it himself, and he gets it up across the 35. And a good pickup. You can see it's going to be short yardage here coming up in second.
Yeah, once again, watch that gap in the middle. Things kind of open up. Alouette line does a nice job getting up to the middle linebacker. Get Davis Alexander close to first down yardage, about 9 on the play.
Dominic Davis for short yardage comes in again. Back in the CFL for the first time this season. Davis and back in Montreal. And he needed, well, certainly over a yard. The long one, or call it 2, but he did get push ahead. Needed to get to about the 42. It is a first down for the Alouettes.
Dom Davis certainly found his niche, I would say, when he came to Montreal in 2022 in that short yardage situation. As you said, 13 touchdowns for him that year.
And from our stats guru, John Perlberg, the 200th career catch, by the way. Or carry. He didn't say catch. I just did by mistake. 200th carry for Dominic Davis. Handing off now to Letcher on the sweep. Has room as he cuts it up. James Letcher up near midfield. And another first down for Montreal. A gain of 18 yards and a rare offensive rep there for James Letcher.
Yeah, Alouettes trying to get Letcher a little bit more involved offensively. Not a surprise when you see him lined up there. Don't think they're trying to hide what they're doing at all, but believe they can beat you with execution, and they certainly did on that play.
Trying to take advantage of that speed and getting into space, and good job cutting it up for Letcher on that gain as he stays out. The wide side. Full speaker, Reggie White in motion, throwing it off on that hitch to Letcher. Dodges a tackle, and another good play by James Letcher to elude the tackle and pick up some yards.
Yeah, and again, nothing surprising about it. You see Letcher line up out here. He's going to loop in. Other receivers are coming out to block. He's just going to step inside of that. And the Cats recognize it. Odds are Letcher's on the field offensively. There's a pretty good chance he's getting the football. People are running to him, but again, combination of execution and Letcher's ability to make a few people miss turns that into a positive play for the Owls.
And a nice move there on DQ Thomas. Get a few more yards. Second down and 4 at the Hamilton 49. Handing off Walter Fletcher, and he's got nowhere to run. He is stopped right back there at the 50. Kyle Wilson, Kyle Baker, Brandon Barlow in there. There's Mark Washington. He is longtime defensive coordinator of the Ticats. He was also a great defensive back here in Montreal, an old teammate of Davis Sanchez's, and won a Grey Cup with the Alouettes back in 2002.
Yeah, and Mark right now just looking for some answers to try and slow down these Alouettes and maybe get a big play out of his defense to try and turn the momentum.
So a 3rd and 4 and a punting situation coming up here for Joseph Zima. And Smoke Harris back inside the Tiger Cat 10 for the return. Harris watches it, head into the end zone, roll in. So they've had a touchdown. They've had field goals. They've had a safety, and now they add a rouge to increase their lead. Week 10 continues the CFL on TSN tomorrow in Edmonton. Jake Dolagala. First start for the Lions with the injury to Vernon Adams up against Trey Ford, who helped lead the Edmonton Elks to their first victory last week in Saskatchewan. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's tomorrow here on TSN from Commonwealth. Scott Milanovich's team falling a little further behind after giving up a single point, 16-0, and they took a penalty, unnecessary roughness, and Kenneth George to push them back to start at the 25. Not a lot going right for the Ticats. They did push down for a field goal chance last time, and it's Stephen Dunbar with his first catch from Taylor Powell up close to the 40 and a first down for the Cats on that first play.
Stephen Dunbar coming on the end there. You see the passing lane open up. Nice protection. Nice zip on the ball. First down, Ticats. Dunbar, of course, reacquired this year by the Cats after a year away as an Edmonton Elk.
And Taylor Powell settling down, 5 for 6 coming into this toss inside of this week. They're cutting it back up as Butler. Tyrese Beverett getting him wrapped up as a pack of Alouettes start to push him back after the whistle blows.
Yeah, Hamilton's looking to create some misdirection here. Smoke Harris is in the game. They fake the sweep to him, going one way, little underneath toss or shovel to Butler coming back the other way. A nice first down pickup, about 7.
So a 2nd and short coming up now. Is Taylor Powell settling in, the quarterback after replacing Bo Levi Mitchell in the first. And more misdirection, a flea flicker, back to Powell, open receiver 2, Giovanni Robinson has it. And that's what the Ticats offense needed to do. Trick that Owl defense. Finding a big play it succeeds down near the Montreal 25.
Yeah, once again, I'll quote Coach Lapo, creativity is rewarded in the Canadian Football League, and the Ticats prove it again right here. Run to Butler, to White, back to Powell. Giovanni Robinson, big tight end down the sideline. Increasingly using Robinson in this offense. He's been productive over about the last 3 games.
He had a couple of catches for 16 yards last week. That's his biggest one, though. And there's another little shovel pass inside there for Stephen Dunbar, and pick up about a few more yards here, up down inside the 25.
Scott Milanovic checking that playlist, looking for the magic elixir to keep this drive going.
He had some interesting things to say about a Noel Thorpe defense. They do tend to try your patience as you work your way down the field. It kind of defines what Montreal does defensively. Waiting for a mistake. Just nosing inside the 25 in a 2nd and 7. Taylor, Powell, and Hamilton. Blitz coming, gets it away. It's caught to Dunbar. Turns it around, and before he's popped out of bounds by Cabianento, he picks up another Hamilton first down.
And I'm not sure if Taylor Powell recognized that the blitz was coming from the backside. He's going outside to Dunbar here. Recognized where he's going. I'm not sure he knew that there was an unblocked player coming off the other edge in Wesley Sutton, but gets rid of that ball just in time. You'll see the running back, Litre, is occupied. He's got a guy on the inside. Sutton's coming off the edge. He's free, just a split second late. Powell's able to convert that into another first down.
Down into the score zone. They're at the Montreal 16. Powell, more heat coming. Quickly. End zone. No, just turned around a bit. Keandre Smith a bit far. Back near the dead ball line. It falls incomplete. Second down coming up.
As mentioned, Keandre Smith leads the Hamilton Tiger Cats with 5 touchdowns. He's just going deep. Marc-Antoine Dequoy got turned around a little bit on the play. He thinks it's going corner. Tries to anticipate that. Powell and Smith keep it down the seam, but just unable to connect.
The Ticats didn't score a touchdown until near the end of the game, inside 3 minutes last week at Tim Hortons Field. Offense was a problem. Trying to change that here. Powell, low pass, but it is caught. Placed nicely for Shamar Bridges, who has it inside the 5, and a 1st and goal coming up here for Hamilton.
Once again, it's Shamar Bridges on 2nd down. Big target, does a nice job here using his size advantage to sort of shield the ball, box out the defender, and move the sticks, putting the Ticats inside the 5-yard line.
Oh, as bad as it's been for Hamilton in the start to this game, this would mean an awful lot to them if they can just change the momentum and get into the end zone, down 16-0. Faking the handoff, and Powell is down. Tyrese Beverett, Wesley Sutton coming in, and Powell wants a face mask call.
You're going to see Beverett come free into the backfield here. Perhaps a little miscommunication from that, whether it's the offensive line or the back off the fake that's supposed to pick him up. Tyrese Beverett is going to move him back a few yards for this critical 2nd down play.
Big 2nd down, 2nd and goal, right at the 10, Hamilton. Down 16 points, 4.5 minutes to go until halftime. That crowd really picks up here at Molson Stadium, and the flag coming out, a time count.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 7. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Again, difficulty dealing with the crowd noise, I'm sure.
This is the other piece that stands out to me in the opening part of this ball game about the Hamilton mistakes.
Timer, please put 4 minutes, 28 seconds on the clock. 4:28.
Is compounding mistakes with more mistakes, right? Not shaking it off and getting back on track right away. So they have a play where there's a sack, loss of yards, and then to turn around on the next time you line up and take that time count and get moved back again. And it's not the first time they've gone back-to-back like that.
Moving backwards to the 15 now and a second and goal. Powell has time. Lots of time, but just can't find a receiver. He's scampering around. He's being chased by Jeffrey Cantaracu, and he has to throw it out of bounds at the Alouette bench. The Alouettes initially weren't getting much pressure on him, but dropping back, had everything covered. Powell just couldn't find an open receiver.
Yeah, whether it's been Powell or whether it's been Bo Levi Mitchell at quarterback, a lot of times it is 3-4-man rush, meaning 8 or 9 guys in coverage. Not a lot to throw at. And what they're hoping is that Taylor Powell is going to try and force the ball in somewhere and make a mistake. Ultimately, quite honestly, if there's nothing there, that's the right decision for Taylor Powell. You're in field goal range, take the points. Don't make a crucial error and give up the ball.
So Mark Leggio comes on once again to try to get the Ticats on the board from 22 yards away. He splits the uprights, and Hamilton does at least get on the board. Last couple of possessions, moving the ball much better, but it's still the Alouettes leading by 13 points. Alouettes star #1 quarterback Cody Fajardo against the Argos. This was a month ago, and he injured his hamstring on that play, and he has not played since. Caleb Evans took over, and ultimately Davis Alexander. So there he is, and they wonder when he'll be back. Let's go to Matthew Shinetti.
And naturally, Rob, when you look at the Alouette schedule next week when they're in Saskatchewan, it seems like it would be natural for Cody Fajardo to come back then, given that it would be 5 weeks. But speaking to him before the game, he said actually, realistically, August 25th, when the Alouettes will host the Elks, is probably more realistic. Fajardo says that he's dropping back, doesn't feel his hamstring, stepping into his throws is feeling fine, but running is still something he's a little bit cautious about. But speaking to him, saying as he's watching Davis Alexander and he's defending Grey Cup champions, that Fajardo just feels calm. Maybe last year he told me he might feel rushed to get in, but he's watching the Alouettes win so many ways as they are tonight. And Fajardo was enjoying it and just resting and getting back, ready to get back. Right?
And Matthew, yeah, that makes it a little bit easier, a little less pressure on Jason Moss to see how this team continues to play without Cody Fajardo. And even after losing Caleb Evans, Davis Alexander so impressive 2 weeks ago off the bench, and then won his start last week, and then starting again tonight. So, and they're in charge, 13 points up. By the way, you just saw a catch by the fullback David Dallaire, who got a touchdown last week in Hamilton for the 2nd and 3. Deep look, right side. Has a receiver open. It's Rambo again. Had a 51-yard catch for a touchdown at the end of the first quarter. Another big play as the Alouettes venture into the Ticat zone again.
Turning into a bit of a monster is Charleston Rambo. Second huge catch of the ball game for the first-year Alouette.
A pickup of 38 yards. Here come the Alouettes again, up 16-3.
Oh, I can't.
There's more. There's more.
No. There's no. No. Go away, Lapo. This is gonna be a great halftime. Stop it.
That Lapo's causing trouble again, isn't he?
Well, you know, poor Kate's.
But Kate has to deal with it. Get the panel coming up at the half. Talk about this one. Davis Alexander. Big catch for Antwi. Dumps it off. Checked it down to him, and he gets it inside the 20. Antwi in his first touch of this game as Montreal is threatening to increase their lead before halftime.
When you think of how many different Alouettes have been involved in the attack so far, as we see now Antwi with a touch, Sean Thomas Erlington has had a touch, joining Walter Fletcher in the backfield.
Tyson Philpott, some get hurt earlier in this game. He is done. Won't be back in this game. An Alouette offense that's got it in the score zone inside the 20. Walter Fletcher has the ball, picks up 2 or 3, and then the black and gold wall takes him down. To the rookie Ryan Baker in the mix as well. Davis Alexander looks like enough for a first down, though it is. Alexander 8 for 11 for 130 and a touchdown pass.
Yeah, and again, good response after A decent Hamilton drive results in the Cats getting on the board. Montreal just comes roaring back. Already back in scoring position after the big catch. Davis Alexander to Charleston Rambo.
Passes to him of 51 and 38 yards. So faking the handoff, rolling to the left. Looks like he'll take off inside the 10, out of bounds around the 8. So good pickup on first down as they work their way closer for Davis Alexander.
Yeah, you can see he recognizes right away Kyle Wilson had crashed down, anticipating the ball going to James Letcher Jr. inside, right? We've seen Letcher in the game for a couple of plays earlier on. When he was in, he touched the ball. You get Hamilton starting to recognize that trend, anticipating that Letcher's in the ball game, the ball's going to him, they overcommit. And Alexander makes them pay by pulling the ball on that one.
You see the passing stats, the running too, 3 carries for 27 yards now for Davis Alexander. That was a gain of 6. So second down and 4 for Montreal. They are threatening to add to that 13-point lead. Late in the half. Throwing and incomplete. And a field goal try will be coming up here for the Owls.
Yeah, it looked like maybe some cross signals there with a few receivers running short routes to that side. Things are a little off. That'll bring out Jose Maltos in the field goal unit.
Maltos is 2 for 2. Standing in once again for David Cote. Cote had been injured in the pregame warm-up a month ago. It's been Maltos ever since. And we're going to make it a 19-3 lead. Maltos up and through again, 3 for 3. More points on the board for the Alouettes, who do answer after the Ticats had finally scored. In charge, 1:46 until halftime. Welcome back to Molson Stadium tonight in Purolator Tackle Hunger Night here in Montreal. Since 2003, Purolator, along with the CFL and its member clubs and Canadians like you, have really helped the Tackle Hunger program donate over 22 million pounds of food to local food banks. It's just terrific. The need, of course, is greater now than ever. And good dunk there on the Cheerios there, too. Go to purolatortacklehunger.ca to donate. There are the remaining stops. A couple of nights ago in Ottawa, tonight in Montreal. Victoria coming up next, touchdown Pacific, when the Red Blacks face the BC Lions. Purolator Tackle Hunger. Late in the half, Taylor Powell. Ticats down 16 again. Tim White on the catch. Cuts it back. And then he is aggressively taken down there by Avery Ellis after a gain of 9 yards.
And this is the kind of patience that you sort of anticipate having to use a little bit when you're the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Nothing's going to be open downfield. It's just going to be Tim White, block, check down, sitting on the sidelines. That's what you go to. Let your playmakers try and use their legs, pick up some yards after the catch, but you're probably not going to get a lot of big chunks against the Montreal Alouettes.
James Butler, left side, has room, has yardage, and has it down to the Montreal 50. 1:21 in the clock until halftime as the Ticats be pushing once again for the 3rd straight drive, venturing into the Alouette zone.
You know, we spoke with Scott Milanovic this week and talked a little bit about Montreal's ability to avoid giving up the big play. It's kind of bend but don't break, but taken to a whole new level.
Blitz is coming. Powell, it's knocked away. And Giovanni Robinson was reaching down to get it. Couldn't quite do it. Looked like Mustafa Johnson got his mitts up at the line of scrimmage.
Mustafa Johnson lined up in that defensive left A gap.
Olympic volleyball, would you say? Mustafa Johnson breaks that up. 2nd and 10. The Alouette 50. Powell left. It's caught. Keandre Smith has it inside the 40. First down, Ticats. Just under a minute to go until the half.
See Keandre Smith Gets the clear on the outside. Wesley Sutton playing with inside leverage. Nice timing route there. Connection between he and Taylor Powell.
Well, Powell has settled in. They are able to move the football. It's about cashing in. So coming in there on that route is Stephen Dunbar, who has the catch. Another good pickup for Hamilton. 8 more yards. 2nd and 2 coming up. 50 on the clock.
Well, very efficient, effective possession so far for the Tiger Cats. Taking what they're being given. Quick hitters.
Butler trying to feel his way through for a couple of yards. He does. He gets an added push too and works it down to the 25, and more than enough, well more than enough for a first down. Those sticks move again. 35 seconds to go until halftime.
Yeah, and a great second effort from the running back James Butler on that one to move the pile and ensure that he had that first down yardage.
To the point about the Alouette defense, though, you can get the yardage on them, but getting into the end zone, that's what the Ticats desperately need to do now. Late first half, 3-man rush, lots of time again, but Powell is going to choose to take off again. Finds some room, and he extends across down near a first down. Has it down around the 15, and it looks like he'll have just enough as he lunged. And Powell just couldn't find a receiver and quickly decided on the left to just take off with it.
And great decision making there, I thought, from Taylor Powell once he got out on the perimeter, recognized there was some open turf in front of him. Again, took it to put his team in an advantageous situation.
Quickly that time. Oh, it could have been picked off. And that's a guy you don't want it in his hands with the speed he has. We've seen that in the past. Marc-Antoine Dequoy, only one pick this season, nearly had number 2.
Yeah, as we suggested off the top, Marc-Antoine Dequoy is due to make an impact on the score sheet. Looking for a big play, a turnover, very nearly had it there. And as you suggested, Rod, if he catches that one, he'd be gone.
He would be gone. We saw it last year. He had 3 pick sixes, 1 in the Eastern Final early in the game against the Argos. But once he gets open field in front of him, very difficult to catch with that speed. 22-yard try again for Mark Leggio. Just had one from 22 to get the Ticats on the board. He's 2 for 3. That first try had hit the upright, but 3 more points late in this half. 7 seconds to go, and back to a 13-point game. 19-6, the Alouettes lead.
Well, big for Hamilton to finish on a positive note. They do it offensively there with another nice drive. I know, obviously hoping for a touchdown, but putting points on the board, closing the margin a little bit. Need to take care of business here defensively.
It was a quick trigger and quarterback for Scott Milanovich. Saw enough of Bo Levi Mitchell after the interception by Darnell Sankey. That was very early. A couple of possessions in, and then Taylor Powell's come on. 13 of 18 for 144 yards. Still no touchdowns, couple of field goals, and the Alouettes be content to run out the clock for halftime. Halfway through their pursuit of their 8th victory of the season. Alexander takes a knee. Last play of the half. Well, hard to evaluate the way that the disaster that was next year and didn't get in until it was just minutes to go. And now on the sidelines as the second half begins for Taylor Powell, but it will be Montreal and Davis Alexander getting the ball first. James Letcher has it at the 30. Takes his time, gets up to the 40, has something going here. Keeps his feet. Another solid return for Letcher as he gets it up close to the Alouette 50.
And special teams had their share of struggles for Hamilton in the first half. Not a great start here in terms of coverage, as Montreal starts with pretty good field position to open the third quarter.
Well, they had a lot of that good field position in the first half, of course, with the turnovers. First, the fumble by James Tuck, then the interception by Darnell Sankey. And then there was a snap, a high snap, the Ticats deep in their zone that led to a safety. And then when they kicked off after the safety, Letcher returned it into the Ticat zone. So Alexander once again with a pretty good place to start. And he's throwing it to Walter Fletcher in the flat. Cuts it up and gets across midfield and a good pickup. receiving end for Fletcher as he gets about 8 yards and a second and short coming up.
Montreal mixing up their personnel package as you see the two backs, Sean Thomas Erlington joining Walter Fletcher in the backfield. Thomas Erlington check release. Fletcher's got the free release to the flat. A nice first down pickup, leaving 2nd and 2. Walter Fletcher has been such an important part of this Montreal offense all season.
And you've seen it more this season. You're right. After William Stanback left as a free agent for BC. Play action fake to Fletcher. Throwing. Alexander fires a rocket in there intended for Nate Bahar, the former Ottawa Red Black, in the Alouette lineup, and Richard Leonard close to him. It falls incomplete. 3rd down coming up.
And Montreal, a team that likes to spread the ball around to all of its receivers. We've talked throughout this year about the fact that the role of hot hand has been shared around. They haven't gotten much out of that spot since Keon Julian Grant went down. Youngster Shedler Fervius played there, got a few touches. Nate Bahar, the veteran, signed a few weeks ago. Now looking at a bigger role in the offense.
A low snap picked up there by Joseph Zima and sending it out of bounds inside the 10. One of those valuable stats when you measure a punter in the Canadian Football League, how often they can pin a team inside the 10, and Zima does that nicely as Taylor Powell will come on, and they'll have to start deep in their own zone. Mentioned his stats in the first half coming off the bench for Bo Levi Mitchell, and look at what he did.
Yeah, pretty efficient, effective, taking what was given to him. You see a little trickery there for one of the Cats' biggest plays of the opening half to Giovanni Robinson. But most importantly, Powell, as far as was within his control, did a good job taking care of the football, making good decisions.
And the Ticats have lost their left tackle, Joel Figueroa, just back in the lineup, and he is out. Throw off to the left. It's caught by Keandre Smith near the first down marker. DeAndre Ruffin on him, but it's across the 15, about the 16-yard line.
Yeah, nice pick up there to get out from under the shadow of their goalpost. Nice blitz pickup, as you saw there, from James Butler. DeAndre Smith making the grab.
Evan Johnson's in at left guard. Brandon Revenberg's moved out to left tackle in place of Joel Figueroa. The Hamilton 19 and a 1st and 10. In terms of injuries for Hamilton, the tackle situation has been a problem this season too. They started the season through much of it with a couple of rookies at tackle handing off. And that is Butler on 1st down. Not much there for James Butler, maybe a yard. Derek Wigan.
Well, James Butler is very much to the Hamilton Tiger Cats offense what Walter Fletcher is for the Montreal Alouettes. That straw that stirs the drink. You see the former Stampeder and Queen's University grad.
One of the great Gales, absolutely, yeah, and went on a number of productive years with Calgary, and in his first season with the Alouettes, Derek Wigan. On the 2nd and 8, Hamilton 21, Powell throwing. It is caught by Butler. Receiving this time as Beverett gets him an escort up around the 30, close to another. Hamilton 1st down. Not quite, though.
And given the field position here, Ticats aren't going to take any gambles on 3rd and short. Full 2 yards, maybe 2 plus.
So the punting unit is on. Taylor Powell heading off, and James Letcher heading back inside the Montreal 40. The punt by the Aussie Nick Constantino, the left-footed punter, sending it with Carthel Flowers Lloyd within the 5 yards, and a flag does come out for no yards as they get it up across the 50 on the return by Letcher. Now, it was rainy at the start, torrential downpour yesterday, but it's shaping up to a beautiful evening now in Montreal with the Alouettes leading 19-6.
A short catch there. He has not returned, as you said, done for the day. And we'll certainly keep a close eye on that one. Justin McInnes holds on to top spot. For now, we again suspect a bit of a conspiracy between the Justin McInneses. The other Justin McInnes, our referee here tonight.
During the previous play, we had holding Montreal, number 48. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, I said I remember doing a Lions game where Justin McInnes had thrown the flag on Justin McInnes a couple of times, but
so they may not be on the same side.
I would. This Justin McInnes in stripes is completely neutral. Tyson Philpott, just as you saw, just a yard behind McInnes for the lead. Two talented Canadian receivers in the 1-2 in the CFL, and McInnes, the player, getting set tomorrow with BC taking on the Edmonton Elks.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that battle. The Elks looking to try and get back in the picture in the West Division after picking up their first win of the season last week.
So Montreal taking over at their 33, still a 13-point lead, third quarter. Off the fake and the throw to Nate Bahar. Targeted again as he was the last possession. This time he has the catch. Bahar, one of the new Alouette receivers, and all smiles there. Well, you talk about great Canadian receivers. Canadians to lead the CFL in receiving yards. Oh, Hall of Famer Terry Evanson, just brilliant here in Montreal with Calgary as well, and Hamilton. And Dirty 30, Jim Young, the great BC Lion. Tony Gabriel, terrific in Hamilton and Ottawa. Dave Sapunjas and Andy Fantu. Sapunjas, an old teammate of yours, and both college and the pros.
Yeah, absolutely. As Western, not surprisingly, leads the league in Canadians to lead the league in receiving.
Oh, it looked like it might be caught by Cole Speaker, but he was hit. They whistled it down. He was really hit hard by Eric Wilson. Jonathan Moxey thinks the Ticats should have it, but Speaker's had a quiet night, and it got awfully loud with that pop right there.
So you want to be a receiver.
I was going to say, little hard to hang on to a football with Kyle Wilson coming down like that. 2 targets for Speaker, but no catches, and it goes to 3rd and 4, and Joseph Ziem is on. A brilliant punt the last time out inside the 10, and once again off to the right. This time Smoke Harris had his hands on it, but that kind of night for the Ticats as he ended up knocking it out of bounds. So nothing on the return after a 50-yard punt. Ticats football down 13. Don't miss the return of the global phenomenon critics call thrilling and endlessly captivating. HBO's House of the Dragon. The new season is streaming now, only on Crave. Back in Montreal, pretty packed house and loud house as well with the home side. Trying to improve to 8-1 at the halfway point of the season. Looking good right now. 19-6 they lead it. Taylor Powell at quarterback for Hamilton. Handing off to James Butler and Avery Ellis. It's really been a presence on that defense for the Alouettes this season coming in and getting to Butler quickly.
Well, this speaks to the way that the Montreal Alouettes move people around. Avery Ellis, guy who's been known throughout his career in this league, Montreal, Edmonton, Ottawa, as a defensive end, is lining up as a linebacker for a handful of snaps in this ball game and making plays looking like a linebacker from that spot. I mean, this is the Montreal defense with its interchangeable parts.
2nd and 7 out of shotgun. Powell gets rid of it. Off to Shamar Bridges. First down across the 35. Pushed out around the 40. And again, the Ticats are going to have to patiently work their way down the field against this Alouette defense.
And it seems like every time on 2nd down, it's Shamar Bridges that the Hamilton Tiger Cats look to move those sticks. And he keeps producing in these instances.
We talked to Scott Milanovich about this a couple of days ago. That was a pickup of 20, but the way Noel Thorpe has this defense designed, you can think you're doing really well on offense, racking up the yards, but then they wait for a mistake. They pounce on it. Just a 3-man rush. So Powell has seen this before. He dumps it down to James Tuck, who has the ball, the ex-Alouette, getting up to around the 45. We got late flags coming out now, and a little disagreement going on. It's all after the whistle had blown.
A little scrum there. Ticat offensive lineman had an Alouette defender pinned to the turf, giving him the business a little bit. Things just kind of escalated from there as members of both teams kind of joined in.
James Butler took that hard hit from Avery Ellis. You saw a couple of plays ago. He remains on the Ticat bench. After about a 4-yard pickup by James Tuck. Still waiting for the flags here to be sorted out.
A significant loss, James Butler.
We have offsetting 15-yard misconduct fouls on Hamilton, number 69, and Montreal, number 91. It'll be second down.
So that's Isaac Ediemi Berglund for the Alouettes, and it's the right tackle for the Ticats, Jordan Murray. Offsetting. Second down, about 6 yards to go after that pickup by James Tuck. Approaching the midway point of the third quarter, and the Ticats still have some work to do. Moving the football, not the biggest question. Getting it to the end zone is. Powell, once again, just 3 being sent. Flushed out. He's just going to take off again. He's got field to work with. He sees it. First down, across midfield, and then slides into the signage for a pickup of 14 yards. And then shoved just as he was heading out of bounds.
And another good decision for Taylor Powell, using his legs, taking what's there to move the sticks. A little bit of pressure. Don't try and force something downfield. Put the ball away, find a different way to make a positive play.
Ante Litre, number 34, is in at running back now for the Ticats. Butler still on the bench for Powell on a first down. In the Alouette zone, heat coming quickly to Litre. Breaks one tackle, and he gets around and inside the Alouette 50. Some hard hitting again, just around the sideline. Litre out of bounds. And wow, we've seen that before for members of our crew. You want to hold the camera and get close to the action. Sometimes you can get a little too close. Have a look.
Big bodies bearing down on that sideline in a hurry. We got our guys standing in there to get us that shot.
That's JP of RDS, and terrific work to get that shot at the risk considerable. We've seen that a few times this season that they go through right down there, close to the action. Powell again, it's caught. Giovanni Robinson, he wanted to reach across to get closer for the first down, not quite. And the big tight end, Robinson, had a big catch on a flea flicker in the first half. Gets another catch.
Yeah, Robinson was originally a BC Lions selection in the global draft. Became a free agent in the offseason. Signed by this Hamilton team had been looking to try and implement a little bit more of a tight end presence.
It is. Sorry, Dwayne, third and short now, and we've seen this before. Andy Litre is in at quarterback for short yardage. Litre, the running back, just pushes it ahead to get it just down near the 40. He didn't even need to get it that far. Looks like a first down for Hamilton.
I've talked before about Ante Litre's versatility. He's the guy in high school, pretty much played everything except quarterback in high school, so nice that he has the opportunity to add this to his resume in the CFL. We see James Butler coming back on.
And Litre heads off in his 7th year to Simon Fraser. A lot of his career with the Calgary Stampeders, some time with the Ottawa Red Blacks too, and now in Hamilton. And there's what Butler has done. 44 combined for him on 9 touches. And earlier in the drive, hit hard by Avery Ellis on a carry, but back in now. 1st and 10. The Ticats, with Taylor Powell coming in, have been able to do this. They've been able to drive into the Alouette zone, but end up settling for field goal tries. And have picked up a couple of them. Play action fake to Butler. Then throwing to him just over. Antonio Moultrie, a nice touch on that pass, and another hard hit coming in there on James Butler, who gets up.
Well, once again, you see Avery Ellis playing in the second level. He's right on the right side, right edge of your screen at linebacker. 3-man front. Ellis joining Darnell Sankey as an inside linebacker. Again, looking right at home. Tracking him back on this play.
Boy, Boy, James Butler's had enough of Avery Ellis, hasn't he? Here's Butler again. And he's still fighting and breaking tackles and showing some toughness after those hits as he works his way down closer to the 30, and Butler gets helped up again, gritting his teeth.
Yeah, you know, James Butler's a warrior and a guy counted on by the Hamilton Tiger Cats to set the tone a little bit offensively. Certainly has taken some shots here tonight, but just keeps on rolling.
He does, keeps those legs chugging. Looked like he would be down a few yards further back, but they get to another 3rd and short, this time just inches. Litre again in at quarterback. Keeps it, pushes, easy first down, gets it across the 30. So here comes Hamilton. A lot of times ticking off the clock, down, getting closer to 4 minutes, but this is the test, the kind you see in Noel Thorpe's defense.
Watch the hands here, Avante Litre under center. I think let non-verbal communication there to let his center, David Beard, know which way he's going on the sneak.
Got a lot of reps in short yardage at QB for Litre as he heads off again, 1st and 10. Another good drive by the Ticats. They're down to the Alouette 29. Handing off Butler. Nowhere to go. Darnell Sankey. Watch Butler try to weave, and then Antonio Moultrie in there, 99, as they get him wrapped up for not much there.
I'm just going back to that quarterback sneak quickly. You see the tap on the butt. I suspect is a little bit of a signal between quarterback and center. And you see big collision between a couple of tough dudes. Antonio Moultrie looking like he's trying to start a lawnmower, pulling the ball out of there.
He really did, trying to rip that ball out. Well, here they come, and it's off to Keandre Smith. Has some room too. Gets down around the 25. On that pickup, field goal unit will come out. It's a 3rd down coming up, not close to a 1st down. Down 13 points. And still 3rd quarter, just under 3 minutes left in the 3rd as Powell will head off, and we'll see if they can again chip away and get it down to 10. But that's the thing, Dwayne. Good drive for the Ticats, but when you're down a couple of scores, it took 7 minutes off the clock, over 7.
Yeah, and that may be fine in the 3rd quarter, but as we head towards the 4th, time becomes of the essence, and that patience that we've been preaching against Montreal's defense isn't really an option anymore.
Mark Leggio, 2 for 3, and will make that 3 for 4, a 30-yarder that he pumps through. So they're within 10 points now, trying to chip away, but at a certain point, that clock becomes the enemy too. Davis Alexander, the Alouettes up 10. There can be only one team to lift the CEBL Championship Trophy. You can find out who the winner of them all is tomorrow, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, on TSN, TSN Plus, the CEBL Championship on TSN. Back here at Molson Stadium in Montreal. Week 10 continues. A Saturday night matchup, the back half of a home-and-home between the Alouettes and the Ticats. Montreal leads by 10, 19-9. 1st down, and that is Charleston Rambo, who's had a great night tonight. A couple of big catches from Davis Alexander. That a short one to set up a 2nd down.
Charleston Rambo, after testing out the deep coverage this time, just going to take the hitch. Reggie White and Cole Speaker out in front with the blocks. Nice high percentage play for a 1st down pickup of about 8.
As he gets closer to the century mark, 3 catches and 4 targets, 96 yards, and that big 51-yard touchdown in the 1st half. And it's Fletcher just feeling his way through to the 50. And looks to be right at the 1st down marker. That looks like it'll be enough to move the sticks. Depending on the spot of the football, which is a little further back. So no, we have a 3rd and short coming up here. Dominic Davis is in. Mentioned, signed this week, basically out of retirement after the injury to Caleb Evans for the season, and he'll take care of short yardage as he did in the first half, and as he did so many times well. That big, lengthy body gets the first down, and then by the time he's down, he's got 3 or 4 more yards.
Yeah, terrific surge here from the Alouettes offensive line, that left side. Here you'll get a look. You see Davis, quick slide left. Lowers his head. Keeps the legs churning for a nice pickup into, well, almost into Hamilton territory.
He was a backup to Trevor Harris in Montreal here a couple of years ago. He had 13 rushing touchdowns in short yardage. Dominic Davis. First down near midfield. Alouettes. Alexander throwing, and no, intended for Rambo. Falls incomplete. Cordell Rogers, the ex-Alouette, making his Ticats debut for the injured Jamal Peters, closest one to him. As Rogers played in 13 games with Montreal last year and ended up being bumped to the practice roster and let go in training camp this year.
Yeah, Ticats happy to get a guy with some CFL experience. It's that boundary corner spot. Can be a critical one defensively. Jamal Peters had been signed in the offseason from Toronto, obviously, to make it a position of strength, but good to have veteran depth there in the form of Cordell Rogers.
This could be the last play of the third quarter as the clock winds down. Second down. Caught. Schindler Furvius. First catch. Breaks free. Furvius. Finally taken down by Destin Talbert. Oh, the biggest play in the young CFL career of Schindler Furvius, who had easily enough for the first down and then kept making it happen as he gets it down. A 48-yard gain to end the quarter, set up a 1st and goal coming up to start the 4th for the Alouettes.
Yeah, terrific play here. Great effort from Schindler Furvius. That'll boost his yards per catch average and set up the Alouettes well as we head into the 4th quarter.
We've seen many times that numbers can be misleading. These numbers through 3 quarters. The Ticats, in terms of time of possession, dominated Montreal, Dwayne, but they still only scored 3 points, and they're still trailing by 10.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot in this ball game, at least I have, about the need to be patient against Montreal's defense. You can't force things, take what they give you, and you kind of chip away. I think that's fine as long as you don't put yourself in a hole at the start of the game, and that's what the Tiger Cats did with mistakes. That it's reaching a point now where they can't afford to be patient in order to get themselves back in the game.
We've seen that Nothorpe's defense has been content to sit back in coverage and make sure that they don't beat them with a big play, and yeah, taking a lot of time off the clock. So down a couple of scores, 19-9 to start the 4th, and not only that, the Alouettes got a big play. Schindler Furvius 48 yards to get them down close. So they have found the end zone, and Davis Alexander and Montreal with an excellent chance to find the end zone again and really take charge of this game. Said Hamilton in the 3rd did chip away 3 points off that lead to get it to 19-9. The 4th quarter begins inside the 10. Play fake, throwing, caught. David Dallaire nearly had another touchdown. The ball comes out, and Rogers falls on it, but it looked like Dallaire was already down. Dallaire had a touchdown last week. Similar situation for Montreal.
Yeah, fullback with the free release to the flat, but great pursuit to the football there by Cordell Rogers with a big hit. And knocking that ball free, but Dallaire down before the ball popped loose.
In his 2nd year out of Laval, David Dallaire with his first touchdown last week, nearly at number 2 on that play, but Dominic Davis, short yardage now. And the 2nd and goal at the Hamilton 1, so Davis is in. As mentioned, they had 13 touchdowns in this situation for Montreal 2 years ago. Looking for this one here. Waiting for the signal. He break the plane. Touchdown it is. Dominic Davis. Welcome back to the Canadian Football League. First appearance back with Montreal. 6 more points, Alouettes.
Well, first day on the new job for Dominic Davis. We're off to a pretty good start. Maybe just picking up right where he left off in 2022.
He was with the BC Lions a year ago in these situations, and happy to be back in Montreal, happy to be back in the league at age 35. Figured his playing days might be over, but that caps off a 7-play, 70-yard drive and 341. One big play to second-year receiver, Canadian Shedler Furvius, went nearly 50 yards to get them down close. Jose Maltos, the point after. And just like that, Hamilton dominating time of possession in the third. They only got 3. Pierre-Olivier Lestage, the big man, celebrating in style.
We'll take a look back at the big play on that scoring drive. Shedler Furvius, 48-yard gain here, and you're just going to see defensive line gets upfield. He's just going to duck it underneath behind them. It's just a variation of a screenplay with the receiver being the guy who gets in behind that aggressive defensive line. Davis Alexander drops it to him. Big play sets up the Dom Davis touchdown with a quick hitter to David Dallaire in between.
Drafted last year in the 5th round. Here's Smoke Harris. He's taken down on that return. A good one up to about the 45. Tyrese Beverette, who admits still circles the calendar to see when he's playing his old team, the Ticats, and it's been a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, he is a guy who shows up, plays hard, approaches every game the same way, as he says, but admittedly, yes, sort of makes a special note when the team that let him get away is the opponent. You see a guy who continues to make a case as a candidate for most outstanding defensive player in this league.
He was a great special teams player when he was with the Ticats. Still is a great special teams player. That has caught Shamar Bridges up closer to midfield on that first down. But again, when you talked about it, as that clock ticks, these short passes rack up first downs, time of possession, but they need some quick points. Down now 26-9. Butler running well. Good game. First down. Alouette zone down around the 50. 8 more yards for James Butler.
Yeah, well blocked up. Again, the clock continues to run on these plays. As you see, Ticat offensive line working up to Avery Ellis and Darnell Sankey at linebacker level.
Into the 48 now. Ticats offense has been moving against this Al D. They are again. Bridges first down and more. Cuts it back inside. Keeps it in inside the 30. So here comes Hamilton again.
Watch Shamar Bridges, long throw out to that wide side. But he's got a bit of a cushion. Just going to hang out there. Easy pickings for Taylor Powell. Let Bridges do the rest. Get what you can.
Bridges has 8 catches for 103 yards, and that one the longest of 20. First and 10 at the Alouette 28. Powell. Time over the middle. Oh, what a beautiful catch by Stephen Dunbar. Taken down right at the 10. 18 more yards. And Hamilton's knocking at the door again.
Yeah, I love the body control on this one, as you're going to see Dunbar coming from right to left on your screen, crossing. Ball thrown just a touch behind him. Going airborne, twisting his body back to pull that one in, making a play for his quarterback.
Right down at the 10. It's a first and goal. Fourth quarter. They need a touchdown. Powell again has time. Now running around. And throws just to pick up a few more yards. With Butler only about 5 yards ahead of him, he sends it to him to get the distance cut in half as they get it down near the 5.
Yeah, you can see Taylor Powell thought about running there. Didn't think he was going to be able to outrace defenders around the corner. So zips it into Butler on the sideline to pick up those yards.
So it's 17 points the difference. A little over 10 minutes left. If you don't get the touchdown here, are we in 3-down territory now? Or do they kick the field goal?
Well, anticipating that it's going to take long drives to get points against Montreal, I kind of feel like you are in 3-down territory.
I agree. See what they do here. Maybe not necessary. Second and goal. Powell. Flag out. And the ball's incomplete. Intended for Dunbar. It falls low. And you did see the flag coming out in the backfield in behind Powell as he was on the move. Now, they were around the 6, but if it's against them and they're pushed back in a hold, say back to the 16.
Hamilton, number 9. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat first down.
So first down, though, again. Of course, back at the 16 now.
So keeping an eye. James Butler, the running back, as Beverett went inside on him.
Sorry, we'll repeat second down. Second down, we'll repeat second down.
That's corrected by Justin McInnes as well, repeating the down, but that is a second and goal. The Montreal 16. Crowd noise picking up again for Taylor Powell. 3-man rush. Underneath. Luther Hakunavanu! Touchdown, Hamilton! The first catch for Hakunavanu on the night. And the biggest play for the Tiger Cats offense. 16-yard touchdown, Hakunavanu.
Yeah, he's going to come crossing from the left to right on your screen. Big target. Coverage sitting back a little bit, allowing the easy completion. Hakunavanu gets himself north-south in a hurry into the end zone for the touchdown. Hakunavanu, his 4th touchdown of the season. 4th in his last 5 games.
Former Calgary Stampeder. Luther Hakunavanu. They're back to within 10. Late flag is out. We'll sort that out. But with that, much needed touchdown for the Ticats. A 10-point Alouette lead. There's Luther Hakunavanu and getting some attention at the training table, but he did get a big touchdown, a 16-yarder that has gotten the Ticats back closer again, and finally something to show for their long drives down the field for Scott Milanovich. And there's a penalty announced afterwards and the point after.
On the previous play, we have offset misconduct fouls against Hamilton, number 69, and Montreal, number 1. This is Hamilton, 69, second misconduct, and he'll be disqualified from the game.
Hamilton, 69, is Jordan Murray. Now, earlier in the game, their other tackle, the left tackle, Joel Figueroa, got hurt. And Brandon Revenberg, the veteran guard, had to move to the outside. So Hamilton is now missing both of their veteran tackles on offense at really a critical point of the game.
Well, and going beyond the fact that they're missing both of their starting offensive tackles, they only dressed 6 O-linemen for the game. They've lost 2. Do the math. I suspect you're going to see backup defensive lineman Deontay Knight making his CFL offensive line debut here.
We'll wait and see when they get the ball again. It's James Fletcher, the Alouettes have it. Is Hamilton getting a little closer again? Another look at that touchdown by Hakunavanu.
Yeah, and Hakunavanu lines up as the number 2 receiver. He's going to get verticals to clear things out as he comes underneath. And you can see how the linebackers, Montreal is sitting off. So he's got a whole layer, a whole open level to get open there. That allows him to catch the ball, get its shoulders turned upfield, some momentum going towards the goal line. Big body fights his way in for touchdown number 4 on the year, keeping the Cats' hopes alive.
And immediately needing some work afterwards, but they do get the touchdown. And now it's up to the defense too. 9:19 on the clock. Needing to get the ball back here. Davis Alexander. To the left. Good job. Oh, caught by Rambo. And a nice grab too, going up and getting that for a first down.
Yeah, right along that sideline. Terrific effort and awareness from Rambo to successfully bring this one down in bounds.
Charleston Rambo, just like a year ago with Austin Mack, starting to really make a name for himself as a newcomer to that Alouette offense. Playing in the boundary wide-out position. Here's Walter Fletcher. Breaks a tackle. Jonathan Moxey cuts around, and a good run by Fletcher to get it up to around the Montreal 50. And close to first down yardage. It'll be very short, about a yard away.
And this one, after a couple of terrific little jukes and jives from Walter Fletcher, was starting to look like it was going to be a big play, but watch the play by Richard Leonard here. Shedding the block, making the diving tackle before that one turned into a much bigger play.
So a 2nd and 2. Alouettes looking to improve to 8-1. They lead the overall CFL standing, 7-1 coming in. Fletcher, first down up near midfield, running well, left side that time.
And we'll see how patient Montreal wants to be here with a little bit of ball control to run that clock down as they protect a 10-point lead.
And they picked up their touchdowns. As you look at Mark Washington, the defensive coordinator for the Ticats. Alouettes, we talked about how the Ticats killed so much time on the clock with those long drives. There's been some big plays by the Alouettes. 51-yarder with Charleston Rambo for a touchdown, and big plays to set up another one too. That's caught by Nate Bahar. And he has a first down inside the 45. Drive continues here for the Alouettes. Gain of 12.
Yeah, just a quick hitter to Bahar again. Seeing a little more action on offense this week than he had in his first couple of weeks as a Montreal Alouette. Jason Moss tells us veterans done a good job learning the offense. They now look to take advantage of his experience and skill in their lineup. Former 5th overall pick, 2017 draft, started his career in Edmonton before moving on to Ottawa.
Played his college ball with the Carleton Ravens. James Letcher in at running back. It looks like he wants to. It looked for a moment like he wanted to throw. And he just took his time, and then he cut it up. And got that pickup on first down around the 40. The way he was stopping a bit in the backfield there, he never actually put it in throwing position, but you had to wonder.
Yeah, and I can't tell you whether James Letcher Jr. is right-handed or left-handed, but yeah, he'd have to be a lefty to throw that one. And he certainly looked like he was thinking about it. Not sure if that was just a strategic move on his part to buy himself a little bit of time at the line of scrimmage.
He just waited it out, picked up a few yards, 3 in total. 2nd and 7, Hamilton 41. Under 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, and a 10-point lead. Alouettes with the ball. Alexander. Oh, up high and brought down again. Another good catch. High pointing it is Charleston Rambo near the first down marker.
Yeah, this takes so much focus to do what Rambo just did. Strong catch in his hands, secures the ball. He knows he's about to basically get dumped on his head, but looks after the football, continuing his terrific night as you see him up over the century mark in receiving yards.
114 total, nearly half of that coming on one touchdown grab of 51 yards in the first half. But gets the first down. Hanging on to that as Cordell Rogers came in underneath, and despite the landing, hung on to the football. Under 5 minutes now to go. Alouettes, Fletcher, lots of room, breaks through, down to the 10. Walter Fletcher. Brandon Barlow prevented a touchdown, but Fletcher breaks free for a 24-yard pickup.
Now watch the work of the offensive line here, getting things picked up, as you're going to see the linebackers kind of attack those inside gaps. Kyle Wilson, Ryan Baker, they get swallowed up in the wash. And basically, as they're in that blitz mode, It means that as soon as he breaks the first wave, breaks the line of scrimmage, Walter Fletcher has no second level to beat and is able to turn that one into a big gainer.
On the threshold of the end zone again, and they are taking time off the clock now. Four-man rush. Alexander looks to the end zone. Touchdown, Montreal. Charleston Rambo has another.
Oh, this game is turning into Charleston Rambo's personal highlight film. A terrific effort from the Alouette receiver. Big boys get things blocked up front. Nice throwing lane there for Davis Alexander. And again, contested catch in traffic right against the sideline. And Charleston Rambo just does his thing.
Eight plays, 80 yards. They took over 5.5 minutes off the clock. And Charleston Rambo has another touchdown catch. And Jose Maltos has another point after. And a second passing touchdown for Davis Alexander to go along with the 3 he had coming into this game. Just his second start. Offense running well, throwing well. Alouettes in charge late in the fourth.
We'll look back at the Charleston Rambo touchdown. He starts off as the number 2 receiver here, but through formation and motion, the Alouettes create a favorable matchup for him working on the corner route as he motions in to become number 3, which puts the middle linebacker, DQ Thomas, on him. A route where he's got kind of a double move, bit of an out and up here, and then working towards the corner. Tough one for an inside linebacker to cover. Thomas gets turned around a little bit. Ball well thrown to the outside, nicely positioned. Rambo makes the grab for the touchdown.
He has 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Had 1 last week, 2 tonight. And he's now up over 400 yards receiving this season. Here's Smoke Harris on the return. Keeps cutting it back, looking for daylight. Here's stringing it out, though. And eventually, it is Tyrese Beverette with some words for Smoke Harris after he pushes him out of bounds. All smiles, Charleston Rambo. You know, it's a narrative I think we had even in preseason when Montreal was playing with Ottawa. How are they going to make up for the lost receptions, touchdowns of Austin Mack, who had a great year last year with the Alouettes? Well, he's helping them get by.
Yeah, and it has been certainly a part of the Charleston Rambo storyline from the moment he signed, that you look at his background, kind of similar to Austin Mack. Guy, big-time NCAA player. Had a short stint in the National Football League.
Nice snag there by Tim White up at the 50 from Taylor Powell.
You know, was going to have an opportunity, but had to work his way up the depth chart in training camp. And Rambo was a guy who, like Mack, impressed early in training camp. And there were all of these parallels. You know, the one difference being he didn't necessarily
please reset the clock to 3 minutes, 8 seconds.
The way Austin Mack did to start his season in the Canadian Football League. In Rambo's case, the ascent has been a little bit slower, in part because other guys have been healthier. Obviously, Tyson Philpott wasn't healthy at the start of last year. Can Julian Grant had a huge role to start this year, so they didn't have to rely on him the way they did Austin Mack last year. But Rambo certainly showing he has a similar skill level, and you know, as he's been able to get comfortable here in Montreal, has really exploded.
Sure looks comfortable tonight. A couple of TDs. There's Powell again trying to secure the football. Mustafa Johnson got a hand in, nearly knocked it free. There was a lot of heat on Powell on that play. Down to the 3-minute mark left here in the fourth quarter. 3-minute warning has been given. Good defensive play there for the Alouettes. A 2nd and long coming up for the Ticats as Powell close to losing the handle on that one. A reminder, tomorrow in Edmonton, Jake Dolegala makes his first start for the BC Lions, in for the injured Vernon Adams, up against Trey Ford of the Edmonton Elks, who only have 1 win, but that was their most recent game, and Ford was impressive in that one. How will Edmonton look against BC? That's the end of week 10. That's tomorrow from Commonwealth. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. Casey Sales in on offense because of both tackles being gone for the Ticats. Taylor Powell with time to throw. throw in turned around as Tim White, but it falls incomplete. Marc-Antoine Duquois and Deontay Ruffin were there, and it's a 3rd and 16 now coming up.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about it, Casey Sales being the guy who flips over from the D-line to play offense. I thought it would be Deontay Knight. So essentially, because of an unnecessary dead ball penalty, second misconduct takes Jordan Murray out of the game. So now Hamilton has an all-star defensive lineman, a CFL all-star, taken off of defense, having to play offense because of an unnecessary penalty.
Because that's the second offensive lineman lost, the other to injury, Joel Figueroa, earlier for Hamilton. Powell takes off. He needs 16 yards. He has it. First down, running and sliding now at the 46 of Montreal is Taylor Powell. So the drive does continue. And Hamilton's still in a big hole.
And I know this was one of the questions about Taylor Powell when he first got into the lineup for the Tiger Cats last year, had to do with sort of his mobility, because this wasn't a big part of his game in college, but he's demonstrated that he is certainly capable of using his legs to extend plays, and in this instance, extend drive.
He has run for 43 yards. He picked up 18 right there and just dumps it off to Keandre Smith. He was facing heat. Smith gets it down to the 45, pickup of about 2 yards for the Ticats. Second down, 2:21 on the clock here in Montreal. These teams hitting the halfway point of the regular season. At the end of this game tonight, the Ticats are staring at a 2-7 first half. The Alouettes looking to make it 8-1 on top of the CFL. Pressure's coming on Powell. Takes off again. Dylan Wynn, ex-Ticat, is the one to corral him, haul him in after a pickup of 9. First down, Hamilton.
And again, as we tick down to about 2 minutes to go in this ball game, not necessarily the time management formula you want, but again, it's the decision of taking what's there for Taylor Powell, which is what you need to do.
Flags out on that play, intended for Shamar Bridges. Incomplete.
Yeah, just came up short on the throw. Didn't get it out there. I wonder if, having not had a lot of game action, a couple of big runs on this possession, if Taylor Powell's maybe feeling a little gassed, if that impacted his ability to get that ball out there on that last one.
It is currently the same score as a week ago. That was the final, 33-16. At Tim Hortons Field 1 week ago for the Alouettes.
Offside, Montreal, number 91. It's 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So it's still a first down and offside against the Alouettes, but looking more academic now with 1:47 on the clock. There's Isaac Ediemi Berglund with some good years, like Derek Wigan with the Calgary Stampeders coming over, first year with Montreal. 1st and 5, Alouette 31. Powell, time. Deep, end zone, knocked away. Looking for Tim White, and Wesley Sutton was right there to knock it away and set up a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, well thrown ball here by Taylor Powell, and an instance where he's going to push the ball a little bit more than they have, as they obviously need a few scores with not a lot of time to get him. Takes a shot to the end zone. Wesley Sutton able to get back there and do just enough to disrupt Tim White's ability to catch that football.
Just caught a bit of it, just enough to prevent the catch from Tim White. 2nd down. To the left. Caught? No. Trying to turn around quickly with the ball is Stephen Dunbar, but moved too soon, and out the ball goes, and 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, Dunbar anxious to run before he had this one. Just unable to recover after the bobble. Yeah, you could even see him start to turn his head to where he was going before that ball popped out.
Cabianento is right there. It's just the kind of night the Hamilton Tiger Cats have had, isn't it? 3rd down and 5. Powell down around the 10 and a Great catch by Tim White for the first down to extend this drive. Just shy of the 11-yard line. A 20-yard pickup, Tim White.
Yeah, DB Sutton playing with inside leverage. White breaks it out. Perfectly thrown ball from Powell. Nice job by Tim White with Wesley Sutton draped on him to go up and get that one, get his feet down in bounds.
Powell has time again. Ran out of it. Touchdown. Toss to Stephen Dunbar. Nicely done by Taylor Powell, who was running out of time, but threw a dart to Dunbar.
Well, he paid a price. Paid a price to throw this dart. So you're going to see him rolling to his right. You see the head stays, eyes looking downfield the whole way, but Darnell Sankey playing the role of hammer to Taylor Powell's nail. The QB was completely vulnerable, basically airborne as he threw that football and got hit by the Alouettes middle linebacker.
Taylor Powell playing most of this game. On their third possession, he replaced Bo Levi Mitchell. And getting some attention down on the bench. Yeah, the way Sankey came in, and good for him getting rid of the ball the way he did for another touchdown pass, but only 1:20 on the clock left. A point after Leggio to make it a 10-point game again, but still 2 possessions and time running out in the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Here you'll see Stephen Dunbar starts off out wide. Taylor Powell's going to roll this to his right. Dunbar is basically just reacting to the scramble of his quarterback. First bends it out and then bounces back in to find an open window. Powell looking at him the whole way. Just as he gets buried, puts it on the money for his receiver.
Ticats have to look back at the way this game started. Just disastrous at the beginning with a fumble, with an interception thrown, with a safety they had to give up on a high snap. Easy enough to say you could on every game, but a few things gone a little differently earlier. We might be talking about a different story. They just haven't been able to get out of this hole too deep in it. The Alouettes happily ahead by 10 still, despite giving up that touchdown. And an onside kick, you would have to think, would be coming up with still Hamilton needing 2 scores. Byron Archambault, the special teams coordinator for the Montreal Alouettes.
Former Hamilton Tiger Cat draft pick, Byron Archambault. Back in 2015, 17th overall selection. Star linebacker for Danny Machocha at the University of Montreal.
So he's got his hands team out. 1:20 on the clock. Ticats need the ball back. Mark Leggio lining it up. See the formation for the Ticats too. On the run, Leggio, the short kick. And coming in to get it, Reggie White. That said hands team. You got a receiver out there and a kick return, understandably so in this situation, to make sure they hang on to the football, and they do. As Montreal takes over, 10-point lead, and 1:20 on the clock.
Yeah, this one stays a little more to the inside. Usually you see the short kick out a little bit wider, trying to create a jump ball for some of your own guys. I know Shamar Bridges, for example, was lined up out wide for Hamilton on that one. I think Mark Leggio wanted to push it a little bit more than he did.
The Alouettes hang on tonight. They improved to 8-1 on top of the CFL standings. And that would mean 16 victories in their last 17 games, counting the playoffs and Grey Cup title last year. Sean Thomas Erlington is in. Ex-Ticat breaks free for a moment. Brandon Barlow just hangs on and takes him down inside the 35. Excuse me, the 45-yard line. But what a run the Alouettes, despite adversity too. I mean, every team has had, you know, injuries to complain about, obviously. But the Alouettes have certainly had their share. And namely, as I say, Cody Fajardo, their franchise quarterback, the start he had this season, and it's a full month now since he was hurt. Tyson Philpott hurt tonight. Had a great season so far, but with Davis Alexander in, They haven't lost since Cody Fajardo got hurt. Fajardo went out that night, and they did lose their one and only game to Toronto, but they haven't lost since.
Yeah, it's not just this season, but it even goes back to last year. And we talk all the time in this league about next man up. And obviously it's most critical at the quarterback position. Well, in the last 2 years since Cody got here.
Sean Thomas Erlington feels nice, I'm sure. Originally a Ticat and has a good run against him, celebrating now as a member of his hometown Alouettes.
Again, watch the work of the Montreal offensive line. Everybody stepping to the right. Nice job by Justin Lawrence as he kind of peels back to take out the middle linebacker. DQ Thomas trying to flow to the play. Big gain there for Sean Thomas Erlington. Jason Moss pulling the strings over there, getting some congrats.
I think I saw a hint of a smile there, too, in Coach Moss's face.
I think Coach Moss has enjoyed his time here in Montreal.
Sean Thomas Erlington getting some late game reps against his old squad. We'll show you the standings, giving Jason Moss and the Alouettes the victory to improve to 8-1. Sizable lead opening up. The Red Blacks had the tie 2 nights ago against the Riders. They're in second place by a point over the Argos, and what looked so perilous at the halfway point of the season for the Ticats, now 6 points behind the nearest team in the East, the Toronto Argonauts. The other 3 with winning records. Scott Milanovich's team about to fall officially to 2-7. They started 0-5. They had a big win against the Argos a few weeks ago and followed that up by winning in Edmonton, but then back-to-back losses to the Montreal Alouettes, who go to Saskatchewan next week, playing the Riders again. Remember that game 2 weeks ago when Saskatchewan led on a short week, 16-3 at the half, and then the change at quarterback, and Davis Alexander came on.
Yeah, and just to finish the thought earlier, I mean, in 2 years, every game that Cody Fajardo has had to miss, Montreal Alouettes have managed to win without their starting quarterback. Credit to the play of their backup quarterbacks, Caleb Evans, Davis Alexander, but the whole team stepping up to sort of fill that void.
The defending CFL champions remain the class of the league. Halfway through the regular season, the Montreal Alouettes lead the way at 8-1. And Bo Levi Mitchell forced to watch after the first 2 possessions, with an embrace there for the guy that replaced him, Taylor Powell.
Yeah, and I know a tough situation.